Are graphic novels literature? This debate has been going around amongst comic lovers and people in general for a while. There are those who say graphic novels are literature, and then there are those who disagree. This argument is mostly on the basis of whether or not graphic novels should be taught as literature in schools. Now please keep in mind that not everyone who is for one side of the argument believes that they should be taught or not. There are some who say that graphic novels are literature, but they don't believe that they should be taught in the classroom, and rather by the choice of the student on their own time as a suggestion to introduce them or get them interested in literature. Alternatively, some people who say graphic novels are not literature do approve of them being used in the classroom. Sometimes graphic novels have been found to help students find their interests in topics of reading, and this is why some of the people on this side of the argument believe they should be taught, but not as works of literature. Also, these points and reasons are just a few examples that people use to support their side of the argument and don't represent everyone on that side or show the whole idea or all reasons. These are just some of the most popular reasons I found in my research. Now, with all of that in mind and out of the way, let's move on to the debate. Are graphic novels literature? Let's start off with a point on why graphic novels should not be considered literature. One point is that most of the graphic novels taught as literature are focused on or press ideas such as political agendas and touchy or occasionally uncomfortable subjects. This includes topics relating to the LGBT+ community, feminism, and so forth. These topics are not as common in traditional works of literature, and therefore raise questions and concerns of political agendas being pushed onto students and replacing the former topics of original literature. The other side of this point is that graphic novels with these kinds of topics being taught as literature encourage students and people in general to learn more about those political and touchy topics. Sometimes the graphics can even be easier for people to understand what is going on, and the graphic novels are more relatable for people in present times than works of literature that are older and discuss things we don't experience as often in the modern day world. Another argument against graphic novels is that the graphics or images take away the room for imagination and the requirement of intellectual skills and reasoning. Some people consider this element of traditional literature as lost in graphic novels because of the images and art that shows everything happening instead of leaving it open for the reader to interpret. However, the point in favor of graphic novels relating to this is that they may have images, but some of it is still open for interpretation as there is still only so much you can show with art. This style of reading can also appeal to people more in ways that traditional literature without images can't, such as those who struggle with intellectual reading, or those who just prefer the time to focus more on the story rather than trying to figure everything out. Despite what some people think, graphic novels and even comic books often use the art to actually create intellectual thinking in a different way, and the story is still just as in-depth, so the reader can get just as much out of it as they can from traditional works of literature. So that was a lot of information I just threw at you, but believe it or not, that doesn't even scratch the surface of this debate. It's not even all of what I found in my research, but if I involved everything I found, this would be like an hour long, so I will stop here. If you like this and want to learn more, I really encourage you to research more on this debate on your own time. In other words, that's the end. I hope you enjoyed this and learned something. Maybe now you even have a side of this debate you agree with. There are the other videos if you want more. Are you a history geek? Check out History of Graphic Novels. Have some free time and want reading suggestions? Check out examples of graphic novels and genres. And of course, if you're done or want to review it, the intro, What is a Graphic Novel, is available too. Thanks!